What if I told you this sports betting strategy was so good, Prizepicks banned me for winning too much and flagged me into their entire system? Because I was making a ton of money, especially at 19. I turned $1,000 to 10K in a week. So in this video, I'm going to reveal my 3-step strategy that got me to this profitable ass stage. And this shit finally got me to stop stressing about this sports betting shit. Because when I first started, I literally lost over $10,000. To show you I'm not capping, I'll literally show you exactly what Prizepicks sent me that got me banned. But literally anyone can use this exact method because it's not restricted by the sport or the season. Because even right now, even though it's hella hard to profit, I'm still doing it. You can finally be confident in your strategies instead of shivering in the corner like a little scared sack of shit. But if you cannot watch this video for just a few minutes so that you can finally stop losing with sports betting, then honestly, brother, the hard truth is you're just not cut out for it. But before we get into my 3-step process, I literally turned $1,000 all the way over to $10,000. And here are the results from this fresh ass Prizepicks account to just show you I'm not lying. And also here's the depressing ass message that literally got me banned. Obviously this isn't a guaranteed path to winning. I wasn't winning every single time, but I was winning about 70 to 80% of my slips, which is literally fucking insane. And that's because of step 1 in this strategy. You know, I used to be the guy that would just go on Outlier or just go on these optimizers and just find whatever looked good. This is back when I first started sports betting and like that shit was just popular, you know? You didn't really did too much research or you didn't really have to know too much about the game. All you had to really do is look at these optimizers or these softwares and then you're good. I mean, you think you're doing research, you think you're being logical, but in reality, you're just kind of following with the books. Do you guys really think it's that easy? You could just find like someone who's been hitting 5 out of 5 times against them and then you're good. Only 3% of sports bettors actually profit, so you have to have the right strategy in mind when you're actually doing this shit. And I was actually losing a lot doing this and I thought it was really good. But after discovering this first step, I realized that I was not doing this shit correctly at all. And this was tapping into correlation plays. That's because correlation plays are an all or nothing. I know it sounds a little simple and obvious, but trust me, the real sauce is with step 2 and 3. To give you guys more context on what a correlation play is, it's literally when you're relying on one player to affect the other. So if this prop wins, let's say it's like hits allowed, then the prop that you properly set up, like for instance, a player going over hits, is probably going to hit because that pitcher is going to allow a lot of hits and that motherfucker is going to get the hit. The difference in this is that a normal play, you're just getting one good prop and another good prop, but they really have nothing to do with each other. They're probably in different games, they're probably whatever. But what you guys probably understand is like a lot of times we go 1 for 2 or 0 for 2 or like some stupid shit, like either or. There's always going 1 for 2, we're always missing. But a correlation play is kind of like going all or nothing. You're either going 0 for 2 or 2 for 2. So you kind of eliminate that possibility for 1 out of 2. Obviously there are chances where it happens, but it's not that likely. You're relying purely off of logic and your research strategy. So if you don't know how to research it or find it or logically think about the sport, then you're going to fuck it all up. To get you some stats, 59% of people bet at least once a week. 24% of people bet at least 3 times or more a week. And out of all that percentage, only 35% of those people actually win. 33% say they break even and 30% say they lose more than win. So boys, if you guys want to be part of that 35% of people who actually win, it comes down to knowing what to do and having the right tools to succeed. Because like I said earlier, if you're not doing it correctly, it doesn't matter what system you're using, you're just gonna lose. Right now, you can literally head over to my free Discord, check all the stats, check all the advice, and get the exact prop and plays that you need. If you don't know how to research, if that shit takes too long, because that shit really does take hours, if you don't have time, if you don't want to pay for all those subscriptions, you end up becoming that 30% of people that actually lose, even though you don't want to admit it. And then at the end of the day, you regret all this and then just repeat the cycle. And trust me, I know this. I've been there. This is exactly why I created Secured Picks. Remember, all these steps that I'm about to give you, I literally give this out for free. You can just head to the description down below. But step 2 is all about analyzing the trends and the data, but most importantly, the matchups. What you guys don't realize is platforms like Outlier and things like that, they don't give you the matchup. They really just rely on their last 10, last 5 or whatever. But they're not focusing on that specific pitcher on that specific day going against that specific team. This is all the type of shit that you have to know. You just have to know your game. It's just like NFL. Any of you guys that know NFL out there, you can't just say, oh nah, this QB is hella good and this fucking wide receiver is hella good, I'ma just fucking run that shit. Okay, but what if on defense some fucking crazy ass motherfucker's always covering him so he can't get any targets? Like sure, that's a correlation bet as well, but you have to know your game, you have to know the stats, you have to know all of this stuff. For example, for even pitchers, you have to look at what fucking arm they throw off of, the matchup, the fucking weather and how that specific player does against that pitcher. Some batters do really well against right-hand pitchers. Some batters do terrible. Some batters do way better on left-hand pitchers. And some pitchers pitch super well against left-hand batters or right-hand batters. Literally, boys, we've only gone through 2 steps, and one of my members applied this process and they went from $100 to over $1,600 in 5 days in premium. You guys gotta stop sleeping on this shit. And this was only possible because he joined us and learned from the best, all right? You gotta learn from the people that you wanna be just like. And no other group is profiting like us right now. And it's literally the off season. When NFL and NBA comes around, we're gonna fucking cook. Last NFL season, I made over 200 grand. So remember, boys, if you guys wanna avoid all this bullshit in the sports betting space, head to the link in the description. That's where you can join premium. I'm in there. I'm helping everyone every single day. We got the best strategies out here in the market. So now that you have a foundation in knowing the actual strategy in step 1, and you know what to look for and analyze in step 2, now you need to know how to actually place these bets, how many bets to place, and how to do this all efficiently. Properly managing your risk and properly managing your bankroll. You can know step 1 and 2, but it's actually really hard to profit if you don't know step 3. This is because if you're not properly managing your account, you're gonna lose it all in one day. In the same instance how I took 1,000 to 10,000, I literally did it using this system. Well, before they fucking banned me. But it's not your fault because you haven't placed enough slips. You don't have the bankroll to burn through to learn all these things. Like me, I've been sports betting for fucking years. Even at 19 years old, I was using other people's accounts, but I was learning and gaining so much experience. Even people at 30 years old don't know the shit that I know. I would say over 97% of people actually lose money with sports betting in the long run. Some people could get lucky, some people could win, but realistically, they're just giving that shit all back to the books. It really just comes down to step 3, which is placing your correlation bets strategically and managing your bankroll while you're doing it. You guys may get overexcited with these correlation bets and start going absolutely haywire, you know? Like you might be dropping fucking 10 slips and finding all these correlation bets and oh, it's so good and it works so well. But the thing is like one bad day and you're fucked. Your entire balance is going away, okay? So listen closely to the numbers that I'm going to give you. Do not exceed more than 20% of your entire balance in a single day. Even pushing 20% is a little rough. I like to stay under 15%. This is because you have to stay in the game. You cannot be doing stupid shit and losing everything. Like last week, I was literally on a cold streak. I'm gonna be real with you guys, you know, like nobody's perfect. Everybody loses with this sports betting stuff. So you have to prepare. But since I was only betting 10% of my bankroll, in a span of a few red days, I was fine. I want that shit back already. Because for every 2 slips you lose, that cancels 1 slip that you win. So you only need to win 1 slip for every 2 slips that you lose. So just manage your bankroll, okay? Don't be betting crazy amounts. Sometimes I recommend 6, but with correlation bets, I would kind of chill out a little bit because it's either 0 or 2 or 2 for 2. You know what I mean? Like let's say for instance, you're only running 3 or 4 slips. On an alright day, you hit 1 out of 3. You break even. Who fucking cares? Move on to the next day. Let's say you had a pretty solid day, you hit 2 out of 3. You're up 2 fucking units. Nice. Do that every single day for 7 days, you're up 14 units. Come on, bro. That's a lot of fucking money. Now let's say you're having good days. You're hitting 3 out of 3 because they're correlation bets. You're more likely to cash. Then you're fucking, it's time to retire, bro. It's time to quit that. No, I'm just joking. That's not financial advice. But then if you're hitting 3 for 3, you're fucking good. And you know, worst case scenario, you go 0 for 3, that's only 3 units. You're gonna win that shit back, especially if you have the proper research, proper system, and proper bankroll management. So that's exactly the same process that I did. It's just that once I was getting hot, I just doubled down on my units because my bankroll was going up. Now, I didn't take it out of control. I wasn't like doubling down every single day. I just did it when it was necessary. Let's say you're going 2 out of 3 for like 3 days straight. It's time to bump up your units because your bankroll is pretty large. Some days I was only betting 2 slips. I was keeping more eggs in one basket, but that's just because I had a higher risk tolerance. Every situation is different, but that's exactly how I 10x my bankroll in less than a week. Like this is one of many different strategies. I have a lot of different ones. Now you understand the 3-step system that got me from $1,000 all the way over to 10. But none of that matters if you do not take action and do it properly. I literally have another video where I won over $25,000 in 1 week. You guys can click here to watch that if you're interested in another strategy. That one I ran off my personal account and you can see literally everything that I did. And remember, if you're interested in joining my Discord, I have a free option and I have a premium option. If you guys want to test out the waters, just click the link down below. It doesn't cost anything to join. We have literally over 100,000 members, so don't be the only one that's not in there. Click the first link in the description, boys, and I'll catch y'all next time. Happy fucking gambling.